Penthouse Barbecue presents Beyond the Smoke.
Hey, Henn House fans, welcome to today's episode of Beyond the Smoke. Here with us today, we have a very special guest and a good friend. We have Diane from Ducky's in Galesburg. How are you, Diane?
Hey, guys. Hi to
Hey.
everybody watching. We're so glad that you tuned in.
Thanks so much for coming on with us today. We really appreciate it.
I'm honored to be on here, so thank you for inviting me.
Today, we are here to have a conversation over the wedding tips, trends, anything from 25 and 26 that we feel like our engaged couples need to know.
Hi, I'm Diane, owner of Ducky's Galesburg. I've been in the wedding industry for over 38 years. Love this industry. I love. You know, I love your stories, that every couple has a special story to tell. And it's so cool. They're all, just tug at my heartstrings every time. So I've been in the industry this long. I've watched a lot of trends come and go. I've watched a lot of really getting the feel of what brides bring them stress, what helps them, what does, taking over some of the jobs that help bring their stress down. So we've really kind of perfect that here at Ducky's in Galesburg. I'm in downtown on Main Street and love the men's. This is my heart. Helping weddings, helping prom kids. We do events all year long besides weddings. So with all of the high points of people's lives, the special moments, I get to be part of that and I love that. We are a men's formal wear store. So we are in stock. Our tuxedos are right here on site. So when your groom or your prom son is coming in to look for something to wear, he's actually able to try things on. We don't have to order it. It doesn't get shipped from someplace. It is hands-on decisions where they're first, they can see how it fits. They can see how it looks on them. It puts all the service and less of the stress. You're not waiting till 2 weeks before the wedding to find out if that tux is going to look good on you. You're not waiting till right before prom. It also allows us to give really great service when your guys mail in their measurements from all over the country to be in your wedding and the sizes do not work. We simply go to the back, pull the new pieces, get them altered, send them right out the door with them. There is no worry factor. That's my job, to make sure they look good. As long as they'll try them on, I will make sure every one of them looks really nice.
And fun little backstory. So I've worked with you several different times. Again, senior prom date, who also required some special fittings because he was a bigger guy. And then when I married this guy here, you helped us tuxes and bridesmaids dresses even then. So
And I remember your theme because you were a big Polaris. I don't know my snowmobiles very well.
But snowmobiles were, snowmobiles.
Yes. You guys are very
We were
into that.
Arctic Cat then. Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah. But
That's
the
okay.
color
That's
scheme
okay.
was right. When the color scheme was kind of based on that. So, and that was how many years ago?
It was
13.
Yeah, there we go.
Hey, 13. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yep.
So, it's just fun to be part of this. We also do prom dresses, and watching the girls go through all those stages are now our brides. And, you just have such a great relationship, and that means the world to me to develop that connection with our customer and know that your business matters. That's the advantage of a small business. Business is everything to them. You're not lost in the big box. You're just a number and you're a statistic. Your business is really important. So anytime you can work with a small business, highly recommend.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will say yours is the face of that business. I mean, people know your face, they know your voice, and they know that you are going to do your darndest to make sure that everything is smoothly and is just what they want. So
yes,
kudos to you for having such a good business.
That is very sweet of you. And I do really, truly, people pleaser is the heart of my personality. I'm probably not the best business owner, but if the customer is happy, that's my goal.
Okay, absolutely. Absolutely. So talking about different tips and trends of the wedding season, we can kind of jump in there and your thoughts and tips and tricks and what you think the coming trends are going to be.
Some of the trends that I like to follow them very closely because one, in my knowledge, I can share as much when girls have questions, but I try to watch those. So they're saying, like table placement for wedding trends for 2026. serpentine. That's a big thing. And I don't know how, and just
Wow.
clusters of tables, food stations. And you guys can probably answer to that on if you're seeing more of that from the catering side of that. Those are a big trend. I'm trying to think of. All of a sudden, I made a whole list. Oh, the phones where it's like an old-fashioned phone, and you can
Yeah.
those, and then everybody can leave a message, in their
Yep, that is
voice.
cool.
How precious is that for 10 years from now when grandma's not with us anymore
Yes.
or,
Oh,
whatever
yep. Don't even.
Yep.
this. So I love that. Phone booths, they'll do the phone booths with the same concept.
Yep.
There's rental companies out there for that. So I think that's a really cool trend. But elevating the experience from literally people bringing in a mini cow for you to pet
Mhm.
to,
Yep.
and it'd be fun to see if you guys have seen that yet at a wedding. I see that.
We have.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think just the one, but yeah,
Just the
it was
one.
there. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Ice cream
Very cool.
trucks. I mean, other little
Mhm.
fun things that add a layer of experience, lighting, choreographed dances. Those are still, I'm still seeing, those trends coming. So yeah, I think
Yep.
it's really
One cool thing that I saw this weekend was their guest book were quilt squares. So they had all these quilted squares that were already cut out in the colors that they wanted, and you wrote your message to the bride and the groom as the guest book, and that's what they will have sewn together as a quilt later. I thought that was really, really neat.
love that.
cool.
Oh my gosh.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That is so sweet.
Christmas weddings, they're cool.
Yes, they are dreamy. You have run a lot of risks with this time of year. weather,
Absolutely. Yes.
But oh my
Yes.
gosh, the decorating and the details are amazing.
Well, and you had mentioned earlier giving your guests a full-on experience. Talk to me a little more about that full-on experience.
Well, I think that one of the things is my personal opinion. I feel like weddings are maybe getting a little bit smaller. That
Mhm.
is where they might choose to save a little bit of costs to not have as many
Okay.
people, but they want to elevate everything that they do with them. The couple goes and gets their photo with each table. And so
Cool.
they will,
That's neat.
zip around in a song, pose for each, with a pose picture real quick of each table.
Mhm.
And then couples use that as their thank you notes. They'll print those.
Cool.
I think that is a really cool trend, so
That is
you're
neat.
not going to just look at that,
That is
that's
cool.
sweet and throw it away. That's probably going on the refrigerator.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
As long as they do that after dinner, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had one where the bride and groom released their own tables. Took forever. Everybody wanted to chit chat with the bride and groom.
It became their
And I'm
receiving
like,
line.
Yeah.
exactly. I'm like, people, we got to keep rolling here.
Well, and it was fine until we had people that wanted to come up for seconds before others had even gotten through the line the first time.
No.
So then you run into like, I'm sorry, you can't quite come up yet. We'll make sure to announce it. And then you end up taking some people off. But
That's where the song comes in. They got to get it
Yeah.
all done by one song.
Yes.
And then they
yes.
feel the
Yes.
urgency to move on. That
Yes,
is cool.
definitely.
Oh, sketch artists is another one that people
Yeah.
hire and then will sketch the couples, the guests. And I thought that was a
Yeah.
really cool one. So
And
bringing
those
their pets.
folks are talented.
Oh, I know. Good grief. I don't even know what my stick figures look like.
Yeah.
And bringing their pets, their personal pets. I know my niece and nephew,
Yeah.
or my niece and her husband, when they got married, their dog made an appearance for just a few minutes
Yep.
to get photos and, meet and greet. But he was too high strung down the aisle. Some of them, that's their ring bearers. And I love
Yes. I've always been envious of the people that had dogs that would do that because ours would be everywhere else imaginable had we tried to do that. It was, yeah,
Mhm.
that would
right
not
on
have
top
gone
of
over well.
grandma and
Oh, yeah.
down the
Yeah.
pew and
Before you know it, 911's going to get called and it's
all
it's
the
a bad
bows
deal,
being
but
ripped off.
yes.
News.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yes.
a great wedding disaster story.
Gosh.
But
That's a
kudos
whole
to the
other
ones
episode.
that can make it happen.
We should
Oh, it
record
is.
those.
Yes.
Oh, my land.
Gosh. Yeah.
If I would have kept track of all of the crazy stories in 38 years, I always said I should have
Yeah.
write them down because I don't remember them all. But
I feel like we're still seeing decent sized weddings. Most of them our average is probably 200, mostly buffets. I feel like people want fancy food, and I personally don't like fancy food. Usually your portions are too small for big guy like me. And sometimes it's just overly costly to do that. So
I feel like we've seen a lot of the charcuterie boards, the giant charcuterie tables. Those are big, kind of a grazing table appetizer wise. We don't do that, but there's a lot of other great people out there that do, and God love them, because I don't have the patience to set all of that out, because it is a lot of work. But I think that's one of the things that we have also seen quite a bit of
Sure.
trend wise, and wanting to try and take multiple different food trucks, which is cool, especially for summer weddings. It's a neat idea, but I feel like sometimes for bigger weddings, it can be a challenge, because if you think about how many guests you have, if you've got over, say, 100 guests, even 150 guests, even if we can get a meal a minute out our window and serve people, it's still going to take 100 or 150 minutes if it's just us to get food out the door, even at a minute a piece. So it's just thinking about, while we know what you kind of think you want, in the long run, is it going to be time effective and cost effective based on the amount of time and vendors that it's going to take to actually get everyone served? So,
yeah. And we did actually just book a food truck wedding. It's the second one we've done in 11 years because I honestly don't like them
for that reason.
for that reason.
Yep.
But they're going to have like 2 or 3 trucks there total. And they want their guests to be able to go to any truck they want as many times as they want.
Like kind of throughout the evening, right?
Kind of throughout the evening.
Yeah.
And the something a lot of them don't think about either is we have minimum that we have to make this all work. So if your guest count is 400 people, even 300 people, you're probably overpaying for your food for a wedding if you're going to have multiple trucks, because we're all going to have our minimum of some kind or a number we got to hit, and it's going to probably cost you more in the long run than just having one catered meal.
And the logistics for you guys on
Yeah.
how much food to have.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yep.
we pretty much just set a minimum amount of people, depending on what their guest count is, and that's what we're paid for. Some of them will do like a ticket kind of a thing, and then tickets are worth whatever we decide ahead of time, and then that's what we turn into the bride and groom too. So.
Do you get very many weddings? I'll ask you a question this time. Do you get very many weddings that hire you to have a truck later at night, to do a second serve? Do you do very much of that where there's kind of a late night food, or do you opt out?
Great question. So we do late night. It's only something that I can cater in. The trailer is it's just too much.
Yeah. We've taken it to an after prom, and that worked really well. At an after prom for the high school kids, that worked great. But wedding wise, it's a little rough just to keep everybody served.
Yeah, because your late night, your guest counts, at least half or less of what you originally had. It's just hard to drag the trailer out for that many people anymore.
Yeah, makes sense.
And to have people that late to man it.
If I have brides, Phil, ask me, do you guys do other types of food besides barbecue? What do you offer other food options? Or, I know you have your specialties that you're very well known for and is absolutely amazing, by the way. So
thank you.
We do. We have a pretty large menu, actually, with quite a bit of non-barbecue items on it. That was something we pretty much decided from the beginning, that we were finding a lot of bride and grooms. One wanted barbecue, one of them didn't. So that was the compromise. At least we could still get the job with offering something other than barbecue. And it's really grown into quite a bit. We just did a wedding a couple weeks ago. It was lasagna and chicken Alfredo from a barbecue place.
Yep.
So
any wedding that does not get your macaroni and cheese is missing out. That is amazing.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And I would say, like, barbecue in general, I think the persona around it is it's cheap and it'll feed a lot of people. And that's true.
Depending on what they want to get.
Depending on what they want. It's not quite so cheap anymore, but nothing is anymore. So.
But I do also feel that barbecue in general is part of that experience that people want to give. They want it to be, especially if they want a country wedding, if they want a country feeling wedding, people think of, the Midwest and they think of barbecue and, farm ground and, farm homegrown products. And they think of just a good old fashioned backyard barbecue. And I think that's what they want, but at an upscale an upscale version. I think that's, well, hopefully
An
that's
ex-
why they want to
An
come to us.
experience. That's
Yeah.
what they want.
How many is the most people you guys have ever fed at an event? I feel like
At a
Uh,
single
curious.
event,
So I would say our biggest challenge was just this last weekend when it snowed. We fed 500 and 550 on Saturday at one event, and another 250 at another wedding the same time, same night, and then did another 500 on Sunday
for lunch.
for lunch. We've done bigger crowds, bigger events.
Yeah, we've
But
done
the
up to
menus- The
1,500.
menu for those were minuscule.
Yes.
This was apps, prime rib, 3 entrees, 4 sides, dessert. It was a lot. Diane, where do you think couples tend to overspend and purchase things they don't need to?
Well, I think part of the problem is there is so much. The choices of cool things you can have for your wedding is endless.
Overwhelming.
Absolutely endless. And you cannot do everything. There isn't the time. And for most people, there's
Yep.
not the budget. So
For sure.
the real key to avoid that trap, kind of in my mind, is when the bride and groom, parents, whoever's contributing, sitting down, making a budget, figure out exactly what's most important to the two of them. The bride and groom, what are your top things in that budget? Is it food? Is it, experience for your guests? Is it, location, ceremony, all of those things? Figure out your top 3 things and let that always be your guide. When these shiny objects start showing up as you're planning and your friends are like, oh my gosh, you need to add this or you need to have that, and that doesn't fit into your budget.
It's them if they want to pay for it. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. You want to give me that as a wedding present?
Yeah.
And one of the other fun things I find is that it seems like friends get married in clusters. Like all of a
Yeah.
sudden, all this, friend groups over a year and a half span. We've had girls that have worked for me that have been in 10 weddings in 1 year span.
My gosh.
I know I had to give them all those weekends off.
Right? Yeah.
And make them deals on a lot of dresses. But,
Yeah.
you have to, trade stuff around. Talk about, like, as a friend group, if you're all going to do those acrylic signs that you use for your guest list, split that cost between all of you and just bump it from
Absolutely.
wedding to wedding. Flowers, I highly encourage Marketplace. Start searching as early as your color schemes are and buy up that stuff. And then the next biggest tip on that is to sell it. Sell it while it's relevant. Don't leave it sit because you don't even want to think about parting with it. All of those decor and stuff, get it right back on the marketplace and get your money back out of them. And then I think that's where you kind of come to a wedding hangover when it goes by so fast. And
Yes.
how much money was spent, and you realize so many of those details probably people didn't even notice. They meant something to the bride and the groom, those little obsessive moments.
Yep.
People don't know all that you go into, and they don't know what didn't go right. So don't stress about
Nobody
that
else is going to know.
because you're the only one who knows the master plan.
Yep.
So
I feel like the biggest thing that I try and tell brides is I know that there's a lot of things that you want to get done, but at the end of the weekend, if you're married, it's a success.
Yes.
No matter what happened, you're married and it's done. Like, it's a done deal
Yes.
because that was the goal, right? So nobody, like you said, nobody else is going to know what didn't happen. So don't worry about it. Don't sweat it. And give people their jobs and trust that they'll get it done, and give the good people good jobs and you'll be fine.
And get a good timeline. Sometimes your wedding coordinators can help you with that. Sometimes, put all the things you need into ChatGPT and let it spit a timeline for you, because things take longer than you think. And then all of a sudden you feel rushed, then you feel stressed. And when you feel stressed, you are not in the moment. You are not enjoying that day that you've worked so hard to create.
Yeah.
Really take the time to, relax and soak up every moment that day.
Yes.
So give yourself time to do all those increments. We know the guys they literally can just walk out of
They
the
do.
shower into their suit and show up. Girls do not have
Yep.
that luxury.
Throw some,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes. A little gel in their
throw
hair.
some gel in.
Up they
Yeah, it's
go.
fine.
They're
It's fine.
fine.
Well, and I feel like you said timeline. I feel like leaning on when you get good vendors who have lots of experience, lean on your vendors, communicate with your vendors, ask about time frame for dinner. What's an appropriate amount of time, to leave our guests for dinner, or for an appetizer hour? What do I have time for? Talk to your photographer if they've got experience about how long they think it's going to take, and then plan that in accordingly and make sure everybody has the same timeline, from your photographer, your caterer, your DJ, your decorator, whoever your vendors are. Make sure they all have that same timeline. And then once you have a realistic version of that, then it isn't a big deal.
And having someone help you keep that timeline, so it's not
Yes.
you ticking boxes
Yes.
all day long.
Yep.
That because you're so afraid of missing something that you want to make sure happens at a certain time.
Yes.
That spoils your moment. So,
Yes.
have someone else who's kind of guiding those timelines,
Mhm.
whether it is a
Yep.
good friend who is, or a coordinator. Just have them be the guide of that. Like hair and
Yes.
makeup, I think, are probably ones that take a lot longer than people allow time
Yes.
for.
Yep. A good solid wedding hair. Yep.
Yes, because you
And
want
makeup. Yeah.
a window.
And makeup that's not going to make you look like you've been painted from here up.
Yes. Yes. You want to look like the most beautiful, natural version of you, not
Yep.
somebody on a Vegas trip.
Definitely. Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. Oh boy. So I guess talking about, good communication, what do you feel like are the biggest issues or problems that brides run into that you've heard of, as far as, those big red flags or problems with their vendors? Anything in particular?
I mean, poor communication from vendors.
Mm-hmm.
I always
Mhm.
encourage
Yep.
brides, if they ask me on some that, I'm not as familiar with, I'd be like, send them a couple messages. How fast are they
Mhm.
responding to you? Are they giving you professional
Yeah.
answers, or is it a automated response? Ask them something pointed that they need to give you a real answer on, and see how quick.
Mhm.
If you're kind of on the fence, that prices look the same, you think you can't really tell a difference. Um, and no, and we're going to talk about bridal shows in a minute, but one of the
Mhm.
biggest things is when you get the big box stores, they tend to have very polished professional marketing teams that are talking to you.
Mhm.
Those are not the people who are going to be giving you service. They're not
Right.
present in those businesses. So when you can work with a small business, as I mentioned earlier, those owners are generally around, that you matter to them on their business. Take the time to ask a few questions, get referrals from your friends.
Mhm.
I think is a really good way to try to sift out some vendors.
Definitely.
I tell girls all the time, like by the time they come and get tuxedos from me, a lot of the major decisions are done. But shows, I will have people ask me, what do you, this person or that person, so having knowledge of them, I'm happy to share. People are, I hear a lot of feedback after the weddings. I ask a lot of questions after the weddings, on how did their events go and who worked
Yeah.
well. So we just have, taking your time, on, don't just go by money. Don't just go by a
Sure.
budget. I mean, you
Yeah.
need a budget, but don't just they're the cheapest
Mhm.
one, so I'm going to go with them, because very often
Right.
that falls into the trap of
You get what you pay for.
Yes.
Yep.
For sure.
Yeah.
Getting back into, I guess, similar flow, when the guys are looking, or even girls, when they're looking at their dresses and they want that name brand, but maybe that name brand doesn't fit them as well as maybe a lesser known brand. I mean, how do you guide these brides who are just dead set, or grooms, on a certain type of tux or dress, but it's just not, it doesn't flatter, it's not flattering. How do you gently guide that?
Practice, but
Yeah.
I kind of just skirt around some of those questions when they're
Mhm.
first asking me, well, do you have Michael Kors,
Sure.
which is a big
Yeah.
box stores brand, some of those
Mhm.
things. And I say, what I search out are suits that fit really nice and are comfortable. Those are,
Perfect.
I make sure that the products have stretch, so you can wear them slimmer if the guys want to and be able to look good in them, but still have movement and be able to squat down on the dance floor and pull out your
Mhm.
dance moves and, just be comfortable but yet still look really formal. And so
Very
that
nice.
I just I'll be honest, I just listen to that.
Hey, no, that's
I
okay.
focus
Yeah.
on colors. And
Perfect.
so then I start showing them, different suits and the different colors.
Perfect.
Probably one of
Well,
the
and that's a
things
good
that
way to
I
do it.
have seen that I think is a little bit hard for me to handle at times is that girls get set on Pinterest, which is
Mhm.
huge guide. I follow
Yeah.
Pinterest all the time. I think it's wonderful. But there's also things on
Mhm.
Pinterest that do not exist in the real world. That might have been a
Yeah.
European picture. That might have been a
Yep.
custom. So you
Yeah.
have to have a little bit. That's a guide. And I want to see your
Yeah.
Pinterest board. If you want to share it with me, I love to get a vibe of a wedding and be able to guide you in things that are going to fit that and complement your sizes of your guys. That's one of the things I ask. What is
Yeah.
the builds like? Are you all
Mhm.
bodybuilders? Are you all,
Yeah.
you know, um, super athletic and are going to need thigh room and shoulder room
Yeah.
and, just trying.
Don't want to throw a slim fit on a bodybuilder.
Yes, yes. And well, they want it to be
Right.
because they work hard for those muscles. And that's what we tell them. That's where the
Yeah.
stretch is so nice
Yeah.
because it can be really slim and show off that.
Nice.
But you do want to not get hung up on. So back to what I was starting to say is that I will get brides that, like in shades of blue tuxedos, for an example, we
Mhm.
go from very lights, like a cornflower, Carolina type blue in a suit, all the way to a dark navy. But we may have 5 shades in that spectrum. She will want a 6th one. She will come
Mhm.
with a photo and it's
Yep.
a fraction between one and the other. And we've had weddings leave for that. And I feel like,
Wow.
it's hard that because you want to help
That's
them understand
ooh.
that is not going to show in a picture. That is not, you're going to give up this amazing service, better
Yep.
price,
Yep.
and you are going to go to a big box store because they're going to
Yep.
have that. And your guys' suits don't fit. And,
Yep.
I mean,
Or they're
we have
too
them
short
come
or
to
the arms
us
are
on Saturday mornings. Can you help us? And, I mean, if I know them, I have, if I don't know the wedding, I
sure.
haven't always.
Yeah.
It's like,
'Cause that's
that's what
tough.
you paid
That's a
for.
lot of work. Absolutely.
That's what you just
And
paid them for. Make them fix
yeah.
it.
And you could have had you the whole time and everything would have just been a done deal and, taken care of. And now you're scrambling at the last minute and spending even more than what you would have spent to begin with. So,
Yes.
and I feel like we've kind of had to do that with guiding
Yeah.
different brides and grooms on their menu options and what they want. And, you know, I feel like some people are dead set on, I want a taco menu. I want a taco bar. Well, he's gotten yelled at for a taco bar because it's been so messy. So we've tried to guide that as well. And, if you want a carb heavy menu versus, making sure you get some veggies in there to break it up a little bit for your vegetarian options or just in general people who are watching their diet. So it's like you said, it's all about gentle guidance sometimes.
It is. And to realize as these brides are, you're out there planning, have a guide or a dream or a vision of what you want to do,
Mhm.
but keep a little bit of flexibility around it because the professionals are going to give you advice just like you did you may not even think about how messy that taco bar. All you're thinking about is what it
Mhm.
looks like when it's set up. And it's
Yep.
perfect. And it's in their picture
Yeah.
and their Pinterest board. And then the first
Yep.
time, 4 10-year-olds run through it, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
So, yeah. Or the suit that you're sadly never gonna see that difference in those blues or
Yeah.
tan.
Yep.
And we do have a really big selection for the suit wise, but
Mhm.
same as you guys, an amazing
Yeah.
menu.
Yep.
So
And it's incredible to walk into your store and just see the line of all of the tuxes and all of the colors and the stripes and the sparkles and the shimmers, and it's fun.
yeah, thank you. Thank you. And we have
It
a
is
lot
fun.
of our suit lines that guys can choose to rent or buy. So if 2 of your
Nice.
guys in the wedding party want to own that tan suit, we'll sell it to them, and then they're identical. We just rent them a tie
Perfect.
to match the other ones, and that really
Nice.
gives a lot of flexibility, especially if it's
Yeah.
neutral color. The trend
Yeah.
colors I don't always recommend purchasing if you
Sure.
own, but you don't
Yeah.
need that bright red tux probably, but
Yeah.
a nice navy, charcoal,
But you never
tan.
know. Yeah.
Yeah, black, absolutely.
How often do people purchase theirs versus just renting it?
Our ratio anymore is we average one guy per wedding consistently, as
That's a
long as
lot.
it's in
That's
one
a
of
lot
those
more.
neutral spectrums. Yeah.
Yeah.
We get them that 2/3 of the wedding does it. We get them that half,
Hmm.
but almost every wedding, someone wants them because they love how they fit. So
Yeah. Okay.
that is
Well, and like you said, if you can get them to fit right the first time, like it makes it easy to not feel bad about having to put the monkey suit on, with the old school,
right. There's a button extender in there.
Yeah, exactly.
And it
Exactly.
is. It's fitting it properly, and that's always going to be my recommendation. When it comes to the suit side of it, is guys,
Cool.
try on your suits.
Yeah.
Put your suits
Yes.
on when you go to pick them
Put
up.
them on.
Right.
Yeah.
Let us, or whoever you go to, if you're in other parts of the country, make sure you have them try those on, because guys don't like to
Definitely.
try on clothes. It's just a
Nope.
fact.
But you got to.
So we don't
That's one
really
of
even
those, you
ask
just
them.
have
We
to.
just say, come on and follow us. And we put them in a dressing
Yep.
room, and we say it's just like 10 minutes. We hang it all up. We zhuzh it. Let that bride sleep tonight, knowing that all of her guys' stuff fits. And,
Yes.
you guys are, ready for the game. You don't have to think about things till you're getting dressed the next day. So
Perfect. So we've got an event coming up that we're both going to be at. It is the Elegant Wedding Expo at the Embassy Suites in East Peoria on Sunday, January 4th.
I can't wait. That's a cool
Yeah.
show. She does
It is.
really neat stuff that
Yes. And it's a big show.
yes, lots of bride experiences throughout the
Yes.
photo ops. And so bring your girls, bring your mom. It's a fun day.
And if you register as a VIP guest, you get an early entrance plus a big VIP goodie bag. You get in at noon. Otherwise, general admission is from 1 to 3:30 is what we were told.
Yes.
And
You'll
I think we
find-
even get to, do we get to be near each other this year? Do we know?
We don't know for sure, but we're
Okay.
trying.
We're trying. We
Okay.
Try it.
both ask to keep us
Yeah.
keep us close by. It really doesn't matter. We just want an opportunity to talk, but I like to be close to you guys. So it's good to
Yeah.
have local businesses together so they can kind of get a vibe on all of us. That's,
Yeah.
and that's really with a wedding show. That's your best opportunity. You can be on websites all day long looking at what's offered and what products and costs and things like that. But you need to be able to be meeting people and getting a vibe for is it a fit for your wedding? Do you connect with that business? And that brings me back to when I was originally talking about the big box stores. Those tend to have big marketing teams, and they're very polished. They have all the perfect answers. They give away huge discounts, but it does not translate into the best experience. So take your time, look through, go around and greet them.
Yep. And if the owners are there,
go ahead.
talk to the owners. Like these small businesses, 90% of the time, the owner is going to be right there somewhere. Talk to them.
Ask for them. Say, who owns
Absolutely.
this place? I want to talk to you.
Yes.
And you might wrangle some deals out of them.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
So not only that, we have a much closer to home wedding expo too. Tell us about that.
Yes, Knox County Weddings will be Sunday, January 11th here in Galesburg at the Vault, which is a really cool venue. If anybody has not ever been in there, it's a cool option. And we're going to have tons of all your different levels of things that you're going to need vendors you're going to search for the weddings. It's free admission. We do like you to pre-register. There's an Eventbrite on Facebook if you want to pre-register. There is no cost for the tickets, but we like to have them so we know the number of people, because there's lots of giveaways. We do things as you come in, so we just like to determine a number. And my one tip for bridal shows is any show is pre-print on a mailing list, like little peel-off stickers.
Yep.
Label.
Name, groom's name, wedding date, and contact info. Because what happens
Yes.
is you spend so much time going to these going from place to place within these shows,
hmm
writing the same information. Meanwhile, that vendor is talking to you. Well, it's very
Right.
hard to focus on what they have to say when you're trying to make sure you
It
get your
is.
email right. And, I
Yep.
want someone to call me when I'm going to win this. So I got to make sure all that.
Yes.
So it's distracting.
Yep. And
Yep.
say that again. Yeah. Say those items again that you recommend that they have on those stickers. Say all of them again.
Bride's name, groom's
hmm
name, wedding date, and
hmm
contact, like a phone number and email. Some places require both, but if you
hmm
at least have one or the other, and just because when
Perfect.
it's printed and typed out, there's no typos. You can
Yep.
read that
Exactly.
is an
We can
A,
read
not
it.
E. And then you just walk along and just stick those stickers on everybody's entries. You can listen, or you sign that to your maid of honor. You make sure you enter
Yeah.
me every giveaway while I talk to the vendor.
That's a
Find out.
Mm,
that's a great idea.
yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, let them get you in, because you're going to get inundated with so much materials and,
hmm
come by. You're going to want to try that macaroni and cheese. You're going to want
hmm
somebody's cupcakes. You're going to be a lot of
Yep.
distractions.
And
And
feeling all the fabrics and seeing what the texture is, and yeah.
yes, trying to remember all your questions that you were going to have. The other thing that I recommend is when you're done with a show, because you're probably going to come home with a bag with flyers and things like that. Um, just within a short time of when you get home, make notes of who did you love? You know,
Yeah.
what vendors did I really like? Because maybe in 3 days, you're not going to have that, as strong of a connection or memory. And, I love the flower arrangements that company did. And oh my God, that
hmm
macaroni and cheese from Henn House was amazing. And, those colors of tuxes at Ducky's, there's a 30-year wedding already, kind of figured
Yeah.
out. Then you can go
Yep.
back to a website or back,
Yep.
and another reach out and make a private consultation with us. Like, I
Yep.
love that. Let's just sit down with a bride and groom. There's no obligation.
Yep.
Yep.
Yes.
Tell me about your wedding and then I try to wrangle in there. How did you meet? I love that. I love how
Oh
people
Yes.
yeah.
meet.
I asked that too.
Yes. The
So,
story is huge.
yes,
I mean,
yes.
and it is such a big day. I don't know about you. I'm assuming you feel the same way, but to date, this is the biggest day in their lives thus far. And they want us to be a part of it. Like, that's huge.
It's
They're
such an
willing to
honor.
spend that money with us
Yes,
and put their trust in us. And that's such a big deal.
it is. It is. And they need to be able to feel that trust.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
I always, when I'm hiring help, and one of the biggest things that I tell them, what we do is not like a traditional store where you walk in, buy a pair of jeans, and walk out with it. They have to trust you. Did you
Yep.
record all that information? Do you have that wedding planned just how
Yep.
they wanted it, envisioned it? Is it all the components are there? And that's a huge factor. You have to be able to
Yep.
build trust, and trust
Yep.
comes with practice and confidence in
Yep.
knowing, you're really going to take care of them well. And there's
Yep.
so much
Well, and
credit.
knowing your products and knowing what fits best on certain body shapes and making those recommendations and being the best hype people, but still being honest with them,
Yes.
and giving them honest feedback.
Yes. I think that because we have our clothes in stock, that's such an advantage, because they can look in the mirror. And so it doesn't have to be as much as you trying to convince them of what that
Sure.
tall, skinny model in the photo looks
Right?
like
Yeah, that's not
versus,
realistic.
you're 5'6" and a little chunky, and, it's not
Right.
going to be the same, but we can still be amazing. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's kind of how we work off having food available at the
Mhm.
expos, kind of the same way.
yes.
They could try it. They're not just looking at it in a picture.
But the pictures that we have is all of our actual food that has been cooked. So they don't have to worry about seeing a fake picture. The pictures that they see are our food. And then they can turn right around and try it at all these expos. And they know that's what it's going to taste like. So I think that helps too. Like you said, just having the real thing right there for reference makes a big difference.
Well, me personally, I have used you as caterers for store parties.
Yeah.
events in my family and, all the different things that I've attended that you guys are providing the food for. And it's amazing. And your staff is seamless. Like you guys are just like invisible, and in the
Good.
best
That's
possible
perfect.
way,
Yes.
not that it's meant to, you're not intrusive or interruptive of any of the things that are going on. And yet the dishes are full, the foods, the plates,
Mhm.
everything is all right there like nobody else that you didn't just serve 100 people ahead of you.
Well, thank you. That's how it should be. So we
Yep.
appreciate that very much. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, that's honest. That's honest
Yeah.
experience. So that's,
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Great. For me, I think the reason people from further away want to do business with us is we take care of people. We definitely give them that small town vibe. We're easy to work with. If you read any of our reviews, it's all communication's great,
Mm.
very responsive. Would just take the time to take good care of you. That's just how we've done it for 11 years.
Yeah. And I think like you said, that's what the draw is, especially when we explain in person, when we explain our process, the amount of people that just go, you do all of that. And oh, I can actually do that. We can come in and we can sit down. I can have a conversation with you. Your whole thing is online. It's all automated after a certain point. And I can come in and we can schedule a tasting as well to make sure that everything is what we want. Once they find out how easy that is, and that we are going to get back to them, it makes a big difference. So yes, we're a small area caterer, but we're a caterer that can handle big numbers from bigger areas, maybe even better than some of the bigger guys do.
And for Duckies, that's actually my growth market is Peoria. Always heard good things from you guys. You guys have been in that show, and that's what made me take the leap because it's expensive. And what I'm accustomed to
Yeah.
paying for is being in a show. It's 45 minutes. 45 minutes for a girl to drive for a dress is a very realistic, no questions asked. Guys, that is not something they want it close. They want it easy. And so I really didn't know how well it would go. My gosh, it was amazing. Like
Great.
we started pulling weddings left and right because they weren't getting service. There's only big box or bridal shop scenarios where they order them in. And I, as a small business, can turn on a dime on trends. Big box stores cannot. So like
Yeah.
olive and sage, those color suits all of a sudden popped on the market this year and I jumped on them and I've gotten so many weddings because they can't find
Cool.
that shade. They can find the dark hunter green, but not that olive and sage. And to be able to have this service, with that, somebody who actually cares that their tuxes fit nice, it has been super rewarding and I will continue always
Perfect.
to do that show because people are hungry for someone to want to take care of uh, their wedding and they want service and
Yeah.
no
I
matter
think
what
people are going back
gender
to
you
that.
are.
Yes, they're going back to that personal touch. They want to know that somebody actually does care and they're not just another number.
In this
And
automated
that's kind of
world.
nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
They want the
Yep.
hands-on, they want someone to tell them it's gonna be okay.
Yes.
Have a great
yes.
day.
Just breathe and it'll be fine.
I'm sorry it's
Yep.
raining, but it's gonna be the most
Yes.
amazing wedding day anyway.
It will
So,
be.
yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I have a couple of things of advice on when you're shopping vendors. A couple good questions. How long have they been in business? I'd like to know that, especially you get some, and I'm not gonna pick on any industry, photographer. Those are ones that, just any vendor you're going to do. How long have you been in business? That's a good question. And another one is how many weddings have you done?
Yep.
So there are businesses that geared all towards, birthday parties and now decided I'm going to get into the wedding business. And so knowing the number of weddings that I don't even know what I would say, thousands, would be my answer. And So you want somebody with experience in what you're
Yep.
choosing. Now, if you were planning a graduation party and you're watching this, that would be another question. If
Hmm.
you are a wedding vendor and you're custom to weddings, you are going to be used to big numbers. So that is going
Yes.
to help if you're throwing a big grad party. That vendor is going to be very efficient at being able to know how
Yep.
to handle and like for you guys to feed that number in a certain way,
Yes.
recommendations on amount of food for me, what you would want them to wear.
Yep. Especially time of year, either for food or for what to wear. You're not going to put somebody in a thick, heavy suit, if they're going to have an outdoor wedding in the middle of summer in the sun,
Yes.
you know?
Charcoal wool black.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. I feel like ours are the same way, just recognizing, you know,
Yeah.
asking them not, how many weddings have you done or how many weddings a year and what's the size of the weddings that you do as far as the food goes, making sure that they can handle the bigger numbers. If you're wanting a plated meal versus family style versus the buffet style, just depending on what your preferences are and whether or not your caterer is familiar with that or what their recommendations would be based on the size of the wedding. So for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you will get a pretty good insight at that point as to what,
Hmm.
you can throw a question at them
Hmm.
and see what their answer is for some
Hmm.
particular special situation you want. Some are going to be able to do it, but it doesn't mean, and some are not, but that doesn't mean that one isn't a good option for you. Maybe
Absolutely.
uh,
Yep.
could be an
Yep. People have asked us about doing vegan stuff, and we said, we're probably not your caterer, but we wish you all the best. And if there's any questions on anything else that we can help with, give us a call. So,
we're the meat guys.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Anything else we can probably handle.
Right.
Yes.
And yes, and being honest is really important when,
Absolutely.
so hopefully businesses
Absolutely.
all have
Yep.
that same integrity. So they can help your event be the best, could possibly be.
Yep.
So
Well, Diane, thank you so much for being with
Yeah.
us today. I feel like we're getting close to the end of our time here, but do you have any kind of final thoughts or final big things that the biggest lessons maybe that you would, or a piece of advice that you would give in all of your time and your experiences?
two pieces of advice I try to give my brides and grooms.
Hmm.
One of my first one is make the wedding about the two of you. Don't make it because your friends did some choreographed dance that you need to make it things that matter to you. If you want, no flowers, then don't worry. There's no rules. Whatever the case might be. If you want to have a unique setup, you want to have it different than all of your friends are doing. I feel like right now it's in an era of topping. Every wedding wants
Hmm.
to top their friends. And,
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think then you find out you've overspent. It feels hollow afterwards because you did it for not the right reason. You should make it things that are really meaningful to the two of them. And
Yes.
then you are going to love every time you think about that day.
Yep.
Because when I go to a wedding, no offense to any kind of vendors, I want to see that couple's in love. If you're ever going to be the most in love in your life, it should be at your wedding day. And I want to
Absolutely.
see them attached at the hip. I want to see them doing everything together. I want to feel that
Yep.
love. I feel like that's what gives your guests a really cool
Hmm.
experience, at your
Yep.
wedding. And then lastly is to live in the moment on your wedding day. Don't wrap up in the little stuff that's not going. Let things go if they are not fitting into your timeline. Just be in the moment and soak up every bit of it because it goes very fast. You may have spent a
Yep.
year planning this event, and those 8 or 10 hours are going to go like that.
Yep.
And so just be in the moment and soak it all up.
Absolutely.
Best day
Just take a moment, take a breath. Yes, enjoy your best day ever because that's what it should be. Just because you're married. You married your best friend. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Bill, do you
Very
got any
cool.
advice?
Yeah, I was going to jump in on that. So my advice is guests remember food, good and bad. Don't cheap out on food because the vendor or the venue was so expensive.
Even if you do smaller foods, make sure it's good.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be huge. So you can still fly within a budget and have good food. It's not an all or nothing.
Yeah.
And they could give you that budget, right? They could say, well, this is what
Absolutely.
we are hoping to spend on food. What does that get me? I mean, do couples do
Absolutely.
that?
Yep.
Yep.
That's pretty much how I started off is where do you want to be?
Yep.
And we'll make the menu fit that.
Yep. And sometimes we're way off and we can't come to an agreement. But most of the time, vast majority of the time, after a phone call with him, everybody is in a much better place, and they've got a really good idea of where they're going to end up price wise and feel comfortable with it.
Yeah. And I would say the other thing I tell every couple, we talked about it a little bit earlier, is to lean on your vendor and lean on your vendors. We do this 50 to 60 times a year. We pretty much know how things go. One of the questions I ask is the wedding and reception at the same place? If it is, you need appetizers. Whether you get them from us or do something on your own, that's fine. But your guests are, for the most part, already going to be there.
Mhm.
And you're going to have at least an hour or more finishing pictures, and your
Yeah.
guests are going to need something to do.
Yeah. And like I said, at the end of the day, just try and relax. And again, if you get good vendors and you get people that you trust, you don't have to worry the day of. You just go and enjoy the day, take a breather, take a step back, stand in a corner somewhere. Some people are always going to find you because you're the bride and the groom and you're supposed to be the stars of the show. But try and step back in a corner somewhere and just look at everything around you and look at the day and look at all the people that are there to celebrate you. And like I said, remember the experience because that's what you'll always have.
If you have a good vendor, if there is a problem,
You'll never know.
Nope. They just handle it easy peasy behind scenes. Someone tells them, like we've had a situation where wedding hadn't happened yet and they decided to do a toast and one of them got it all over his shirt. They just called me and we literally ran him a shirt. And
Wow.
boom,
Nice.
The bride never knew the difference until after
Yeah.
the fact. So,
And that doesn't happen with a box store. That is a small business at its finest right there.
Absolutely.
thank you. If you give us an opportunity and you need something, we are there for you.
Well, Diane, thank you so much again for being with us today. And we want to wish all of our watchers and listeners a very happy holiday season. And should you happen to get engaged over the holidays, make sure you take a look at Diane's website.
I'm at duckysgalesburg.com. And so it's going to show things, basic stuff that we have. I don't have everything on there because honestly, changes so fast. But then you can schedule an appointment right online. You can come see us at a show. You can just pop in the store and come in. If you are seeing this and you are going to be getting engaged, say like by New Year's and you're not engaged yet, I have a really special price on a tux or a suit for you if you want to really give her the full romantic dream
There
she
you
wants
go.
to brag about to her friends. I will make it really, really easy for you to rent a suit from me to propose. If you haven't done it
Perfect.
yet,
That's
when you see
awesome.
this,
Perfect.
just ask. We'll fix you up and she will brag about that to your grandchildren someday. Henn House Barbecue and myself combined have over 49 years of wedding experience. So we are going to include free if you DM us the word love at the bottom of this, wherever you're viewing this on, and we will send you over our top 10 most important things that we think will help you in having a successful wedding and ease your strain, good questions to ask. And we will send you over a PDF free of our favorite things about wedding planning and how to make it easier on you. Just DM us the word love.
Great.
Absolutely. So Diane at Ducky's of Galesburg. And if you're interested in food, you can go to our website or on Facebook. But our website is hennhouse.com. And we wish everyone here a happy holiday season. And thanks for watching this episode of Beyond the Smoke.
Thanks for the time, guys.
guys.
Happy holidays.